Friends and family of Rehtaeh Parsons gathered for an emotional farewell to the 17-year-old.
Her story made headlines throughout North America.
17-year-old Rehtaeh Parsons died last week after trying to hang himself.
Hi, I'm Glenn Canning, and thanks for visiting my site today. For those who don't know who I am a father and an advocate. My daughter was Rehtaeh Ann Parsons. She was a Nova Scotia teenager who ended her life in April of 2013. Her death followed months of abuse, cyberbullying, victim blaming, and just Rehtaeh was just tormented. You know, we did what we could. We did what we felt was right. As parents, we were drowning in this. It was a mental health nightmare. You could imagine having your child tell you sometimes that they would be better off dead, and how that feels, and you know, ask yourself what you would do to help them. And we felt with all of my heart today that me and her mother did everything we could, that we knew how to do to save Rehtaeh's life, but we just couldn't do it. I started speaking out about 6.5 years ago. I did it a couple months after Rehtaeh, her death. I was invited to go speak at Concordia University, and then it just seemed to take off. Since summer, I guess, of 2013, I've spoken in dozens of high schools, and I've spoken at concerts and events, and numerous media interviews, too many that I couldn't even imagine starting to count them. And it was a good thing to do, to share Rehtaeh's story. It was important. I didn't want her voice to die. I didn't want her. I felt that she was such a wonderful person. She deserved to be remembered. You know, we made some positive changes. You know, recently I've gotten myself to some therapy in the last couple of years, and it's been extremely helpful for me. I've come to terms now that I was sexually abused by an uncle when I was 7 years old. And I understand now, and I put it more in perspective of what that really did to my life. And how I was always carrying it with me without even knowing that it was there. It's sad. I feel that 40 years of my life were stolen from me for who I was and who I was trying to be, and I'll never know who that person is now, but I am happy with my life right now. I have an amazing marriage. I have a wonderful wife. I have family close by. Grief is something that I don't wish on anybody for grieving a child who's died. It's a nightmare. It is, and that's not even the best word. It's just a horrible thing to go through. It truly is, and it doesn't go away. I was sad for the longest time, just grief-stricken, and you gotta just kind of push through it. Get up every day. I'm glad that I had support in my life, and that was really important. And I'm glad that I had a little dog, Ozzy, a dog Rehtaeh got for me, and he was amazing. But he has to go out every morning, and he has to go for a walk, and he has to be fed, and he wants to come sit by you and play with you, and it just helps, just small things like that in your life. But having that little dog sure helped a lot. I'm making this video here just to provide a little bit of updates, what's going on with my life right now. I get a lot of emails from people all over the world, all the time, especially on Facebook. And that's because of the documentary film Web of Lies. The segment was Girl in the Photo. It was the story about Rehtaeh. So I wanted to just reach out to say thank you to everyone sending me all those messages. It means an awful lot to me. I really appreciate getting them. It warms my heart in a way. So recently I made a decision after 6.5 years of speaking out about Rehtaeh's story, that I was just going to step back for a bit and take a break. I did this not easily, but I found, you know, every time I go out to talk in a high school or do a conference, it just seems to cause an awful lot of anxiety for me, so I've stepped back from it. I've realized too that the way I tell Rehtaeh's story, it's a way that it's done in a way where I have to unpackage everything again, and I have to seem in my head relive everything again, and every time I do it there's just a horrible memory or a really, really happy memory, and those are always conflicting with themselves, and it's just been really hard. So I've decided that I just want to take a break. It just is overwhelming. I haven't experienced a lot. I've experienced a lot of anxiety, but on this level, it was just something that was different. And I told myself I have to step back and I have to focus maybe on myself for a little bit. I do notice right away that once I made that decision to stop, I've stopped dwelling so much on the past, and I'm kind of looking forward to the future. But I do feel good that I was able to do that, and but I've just found now that it's been overwhelming, and every time I do it, it feels like I go back 6.5 years and then have to deal with the trauma of that, and it's hard. So I've just said that was it for a while. So I've stopped doing that, and that's why, of course, I'm gonna do video instead, and use that as my way to communicate with people. So and to share, updates on Rehtaeh's case, where we are now, as well as talk about information and news items of the day. So this is video number 1, and I hope to do a whole series of them. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'm Glenn Canning, and I wish you well.